Today's Friday, we're just wrapping up another week at Fen Vet. It's been a relatively busy week. We kind of got to test out what it was like to have things with a full team. There was 4 vets and 3 technicians and 2 vet tech assistants / client care coordinators. It was nice to feel like it was everything was kind of coming together. We have done a lot of things this week. We've removed some lumps on some different dogs. We actually removed a large dog's leg that had a mast cell tumor that we'd previously worked up a few weeks to months ago. So it was like in the skin of the foot, and it was too far gone to just like take off the skin because we wouldn't be able to get closure. She went and saw the oncologist. She didn't want to end up going through chemo and radiation, so the best deal was taking off the leg, but it had already spread to a lymph node. So we took out the lymph node that was up here and took the leg off, and now it's just like palliative care. It's probably spread other places, but it might not spread as fast now. So hopefully she can maybe get an extra year. The current case that I'm working on is Luna. She's a vomiting dog that we saw actually a week ago for some diarrhea. She was put on metronidazole and a bland diet. The diarrhea resolved, but a couple days later after she finished the medication, she's now began vomiting. She's vomited about 7 times in the last 24 hours and not really wanting to eat. Let's do a physical exam because this dog is vomiting. That's essentially it right now. Now I'm doing rectal because she did have diarrhea last week. She still has some pretty soft stool though. I want to talk to the owner because I think x-rays are more important than blood work. Yeah, I just need a little bit more of a history to understand what's going on. So we took some x-rays to rule out that there's not something stuck in the abdomen or any giant masses or anything that just really looks weird. Like it doesn't look like an obvious obstruction. That's mostly what we're looking for is obstructions. There's gas and bloating and like she's probably gonna break with a bit more diarrhea. Like she has lots of formed stool in here, but just with like these kind of look more angry. I wouldn't mind like getting a recheck x-ray in a few hours and see if things are like moving or changed. Because it's a little bit hard to see what's going on up here in the cranial abdomen. And then we also ran blood work, so we're just waiting for that blood work to finish before moving forward, but hopefully it's something that we can treat medically rather than having to send her for referral or do some surgery on her.
We're very old to be spicy.
She looks good for her age.
She has never
been to the vet
before. Yeah, so this little kitty is just not feeling great, so she's been healthy her whole life, and now she's a little off. So in older kitties, the things that we start to think about, of course, are cancer, unfortunately, chronic kidney disease, diabetes, hyperthyroidism. So just a list of more common diseases that we just kind of check off, and doing routine blood work and physical exam is kind of the first step. If we think that there's an indication for further diagnostics, we may have to do things like a chest x-ray or also an abdominal x-ray and potentially even abdominal ultrasound. Now, of course, we would wish that we could just do all the diagnostics in the world and get an answer really, really fast, but in veterinary medicine, there's always a financial consideration, especially in our elderly pets, right? So we try to do it a little bit slower and stepwise to make sure that we're stretching that client's dollar, every cent that we can get out of being able to just have good value. So just a general exam, just looking at stepwise from nose to tail. Oral exam to make sure teeth, oh, we're so slippy. We're so slippy. I know. Yes. I know. I need to take a really good look, I think. Oh, we might need a helper. That's okay. I'll look in your mouth in a second. Checking lymph nodes, checking for lumps and bumps. So palpating abdomen for potential masses. Just trying to take a feel of the kidneys. maybe even constipation we can feel at times, megacolon, which is extreme constipation. I know. So we've been losing a little bit of weight over the last year as well, despite still having a decent appetite. As soon as I get a helper, we'll do an oral exam, but we can go check if we have any blood work back right now. So the red blood cells are elevated, so that's telling me that we probably have a bit of dehydration going on. White blood cells are okay. So we probably don't have potentially an infection. SDMA, which is a kidney, early kidney disease parameter, is slightly elevated. Urea, which is also a kidney disease parameter, is slightly elevated as well. And sodium is a little bit high. So I'm going to see if we were concentrating our urine. Urine was slightly concentrated, so essentially, based off of this blood work, it looks like we have the start of an early kidney disease. So probably I'll have to just check everything else, but we're probably in like stage 2 kidney disease, which is not uncommon for older cats and can be managed with feeding a special type of diet. So we can manage them quite well just in the early stages. So that's why we do blood work. I'm gonna answer already.
She is a bit dehydrated. She's got early stage kidney insufficiency, so the kidneys flush out, like they don't concentrate the urine, so they flush out more fluid than the cat has the ability to take in, essentially. And she's also got a UTI, so that's making her pee a lot as well. So we're just trying to rehydrate her to make her feel a little bit better, and she's going home on antibiotics as well for her UTI.
We'll do follow-up urinalysis looking at the kidney's ability to concentrate urine, just as a follow-up to see, and then essentially we'll go on a food diet and then do follow-up exams to see how the renal disease is progressing. There is different things that we can do to treat the renal disease medication-wise as well, so we'll talk about all of those options with the owner.